Daily Broadside, day 646. There should be no such thing as a black thermos. If your product design is such that we need to make liquids be cold at all times as much as possible, we'll fill it with ice. Making it black is just counterproductive. That's just dumb, you know? I'm convinced that the most painful thing on the body is getting hit on the inside of your ankle bone. That little protrusion that sticks out of your shin on the inside of your ankles. The outside too, but the inside's just worse. I've hit that damn thing 3 times on both legs in the last 48 hours. And I swear it rivals getting kicked in the nuts. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. I've also killed 2 squirrels this week. In the same day, I ran over 2 squirrels. And you watch the squirrels and they're, doing that, shake and bake, and then they lose. And you're just like, and you look over your hood like you're gonna be able to see them, and you hit them at, 52 miles an hour, and it's just a bobbing corpse in the road. Well, I got 2 of them the other day, and I thought to myself, how dumb do you got to be as a prey animal to get hit? I mean, if you're a cow or a rabbit or anything, your eyes are on the side of your head. You should be able to cross the street looking where you're going. Well, I mean, facing where you're going, but being able to see any kind of obstacle, a predator would have a problem because they've got to actually look like us, right? But a prey should be like the king of Frogger. They should be able to get across the street with nary an inconvenience, much less getting hit by a dang, 4,000-pound vehicle rushing at them at such a speed. But I got to thinking about the mortality of animals from that. And I wondered to myself, do you think animals, understand the repercussions of what could happen if they get caught by a predator? Or do they just know not to die? And what I mean by this is this. You take a rabbit, right? A rabbit's got a bunch of babies. It has 4 babies. I don't know how many babies rabbits have. Let's say they have 4 babies, right? And they're little cute little rabbit babies. And they're and the mom instills in them, be on the lookout. There's wolves and foxes and owls and all kinds of stuff. You always got to have your head on a swivel. It's a 360 world you're living in out there. And they just know not to get caught. But do they ask themselves, well, why, Mom? What would happen if we get caught? Well, the wolf will rip out your entrails and you'll just lay there while he eats you alive. And it's just a horrific, horrible death, and nothing good will come from it. And they're like, or do they just know, I don't know why, I can't get caught by that dude over there. I see that fox's eyes sitting in the wood line waiting for me to do something dumb, waiting for me to slip, and they just got to evade. Or do they know, horrible things are going to come from this if I get caught, so they run for their life. And that's what came from, hitting a couple squirrels. I don't know if you saw a few weeks ago, Karine Jean-Pierre, the worst excuse for a public orator that has ever existed on planet Earth. She had her nipples out the other day, and I don't mean out as in full display, but they were just, headlights were on bright, you know what I mean? She's wearing I think it was a yellow shirt, because I watch all the press briefings at night from that day and all, because I just find it fascinating. And how you can go your entire week and not answer one single question. It's just, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm going to be super mindful of the Hatch Act and it's all the dumb things that she says by saying nothing really. But yeah, she comes on there and just nipples blazing. And I'm like, did no one tell her? It couldn't, if she was backstage and then she walks into the press briefing room, the temperature couldn't have dropped that much that, her nipples are just coming out, let's do this press briefing. How's everybody doing? I've got my binder that weighs more than me. No one, somebody should have said, you might want to put some pasties on or whatever you women do to conceal that. Maybe shove a couple pieces of folded paper down in there. I don't know what you would do, but, and I'm not against it. In fact, it's the only thing that she's done right in the last couple years since she took over for Jen Psaki. But anyway, I am convinced that I don't like this whole let the dead bury their dead crap. I'm not talking about the biblical reference. I'm talking about just the concept that, if somebody in your family dies, it's your responsibility to bury them. I don't like that. I think they should all be the country should just be like one big potter's field. We take Montana or Iowa, one of these states nobody cares about, and we just turn it into a big potter's field. And, you know, it's an indigent type of thing whereby the government buries everybody that dies. And everybody gets the same treatment. We're not giving you... I was talking to a buddy of mine who now works for a funeral home, and he goes out and basically tries to latch people on and sell them for all these, you know, upcharge for urns and caskets and burial plots and blah, blah, blah. And it's just dumb. The industry is so dumb. And it has you over a barrel because it's mostly illegal to just set a funeral pyre in your backyard and light, you know, Uncle Johnny on fire and just let his ashes go down. You actually have to do something with them in most cases. And I don't like that, you know, and I think it should be the government's responsibility. That should be part of our taxes. And I'm not talking about giving them some elaborate... Everybody would have the same thing. First of all, the headstones would be able to be mowed, okay? You just mow right over them. So everything is flat. The headstone is just sits in the earth. And no more of these granite monoliths that tell us all the achievements. You got some Henry David Thoreau quote on your stupid ass tombstone and mausoleums, and all. We don't get any of that crap. In fact, what we do is we turn you into a human slurry and we put you in like a Tupperware container, some kind of biodegradable container. We just put you into some kind of machine that just whips you into like a frappe, and you're just, all your bones and organs and everything are just mixed up into like a paste. Kind of what like they fill hot dogs with, you know. It's like they take the casing of hot dog, then they just jam it full of all kinds of pork parts, you know, and it's all into like a big meat slurry. And that's what the tube wiener that you're eating, that's what you become, is a tube wiener slurry paste, frappe boss, into like a biodegradable container, stick it in a hole like 2 feet down. I mean, big enough to just post hole. Get an auger real quick, bam, done it. Stick a thing on there, mow it flat, Pottersfield, giddy up. And while we're talking about Pottersfield, that's an interesting view. Hart Island is probably the most popular one, right? It's in the Bronx, big island. And that thing has got the coolest history. It's been a sanitarium, it's been a workhouse, it's been a jail, it's been a training ground for like the black troops back in like the Civil War era. It's been like a reform for like a boys' reformatory school. It's been, you know, what do you call it when you get like you know, all kinds of diseases that are communicable and they stick them out on the island. It's been everything. It's like every derelict and weirdo society, we just stick them out on Hart's Island. It's a fascinating... Somebody should do a documentary on Hart Island, because that thing has got some ghosts, I'm going to tell you. But one of the things they got going on for them is it's a Pottersfield, and that would be great for us. Iowa and Montana, stand your ground. We're coming. Giddy up.